All right. Today is July 25th, 2024, and we are doing the 2024 garden tour. I did one on this same date last year for my friend Dom. Hi, Dom. She's definitely be getting this one as well, but it's fun for me to compare as well. So, the most noteworthy thing this year is that just hours ago we had a mobile here, and now we don't. And that view is going to take some getting used to, as well as the view of the house from this angle. So, last year I mentioned that I got these Super Bell Sweet Petunias from a friend who kept them over from her own plants, and I was fortunate enough to do the same this year. So I started all of these from one of my plants that I overwintered last year. In January, it put on a bunch of new growth, and I was able to collect cuttings and make tons of my own. So I was able to gift my friend back a bunch because she wasn't here this winter to do her own. I gave Teresa, my sister, a whole bunch. I had as many as I possibly wanted, and I still have 3 trays left over. So that's super fun. There's some over here on the studio. It's kind of blurry. That window box though is super nice. And I found that I could also do any petunias that I wanted. So these were some that my other sister had kept. And then over here I did some red ones. Just anything that I had from the nursery previously. And so I'm super excited about that because petunias are very hard to start from seed. I've tried many times. And they're also very expensive. And I have more than I could ever want on my own. So that's super fun. All right. I started zinnias this year as well. There's one, two actually. And I got a bunch of red ones this year. You never know what colors you're going to get in a new pack of seed. But last year I had some miniatures and I didn't want to cross the seed. So normally I save my own seed for the zinnias too. And this year I went ahead and got new because it would have crossed probably. On the porch back here I've got houseplants. These are passion fruit vines, as well as just houseplants that I like to mix with my annuals. There's a sweet potato vine, stuff that I was able to keep over winter. So I didn't spend any money at the nursery this year. I have so much color, and for the first time ever, I think, I didn't buy a single thing. So super pumped about that. This is lemon balm, and we've harvested it twice already and have more than we need, so I'm about to dig that out. I also started a whole bunch of marigolds this year. I was hoping for more yellow, and I got a lot of orange. Um, there's a brown or red sweet potato vine in there. So this bed, I've been digging out uh, perennials and replacing them with annuals slowly because as you can see, there are bushes that just don't, they flower early in spring and then they don't do anything and they're big. I mean, they're nice foliage, but they're not in any color. And the annuals is where you really get the color all season long. So here's some more of those pretty red zinnias. I love zinnias. And then this year I've also been really loving the cosmos. Now these are all volunteer and I have moved them around. There's some over there, but I'm finding that I really like these as well. I always think I have my favorite flower figured out, and then I was wrong. This is phlox that hasn't bloomed yet. Here are the 3 flats and 1 hanging basket of petunias. They're starting to flower. I really need to get them planted out. I just don't know where. I got some bachelor buttons, a bunch of the poppies. This is the opium, I think, variety. And you see all the red in here is poppy, and they reseed themselves, as well as this calendula. And now they normally give me more yellow ones too, but this year they are all very orange as well, as you can see over here. But these little, I'm not even sure what they are called. They look like a kind of a pansy buttercup. They are volunteer, and they're very yellow. I really like them. I haven't had them for a few years. I'm not even sure if I started them myself or if they just where they came from, a gift of the gods. But they showed up this year, even though we completely reworked this bed this year with new stones, new dirt, really overhauled it. So I wasn't expecting anything to reseed from last year. But I still got plenty of the poppies. And I did the sunflowers. What are these guys? Gladioluses. I got gladioluses all the way down here. Haven't flowered yet. I tried a bunch of sunflower varieties, didn't get very many up. This one, I believe, is a teddy bear. Fingers crossed. I really like my teddy bear sunflowers. They keep their blooms really nice and long. Got some bee balm over here. Another sunflower. Cosmos, calendula. Back here, Annie decided to redo this patio space. So we had gravel back here, and it was always full of weeds and not very comfortable to walk on. And this space just wasn't getting used like we thought. We had a patio table back there in the corner, and it was kind of tight and shady and just, didn't get used too much. So she had Andrew help with the skid steer to dig out all the gravel, replaced it with sand and some dirt, and then she planted this miniature clover, and she's been keeping it mowed short so that it stays miniature, but it goes all the way around the side of the house there and has the patio stones in between. And it's really nice. It's really tenacious, so there's not a lot of weeds. It's soft, and you have the rocks showing between. And then she also built Mom a big herb bed where the patio table had been. So she has some nice herbs right outside her back door here. We've got some basil, cilantro, parsley. I'm not sure maybe radish, what the flowering stuff is. And then she also did a couple of boxes here to match that I was free to fill. More hanging petunias. The peach tree has been staked up again, but the boys are saying that trees that need to be staked up around here probably shouldn't be planted around here. It's kind of fragile and branches tend to break. I got a new arbor this year. My brother built this for me in spring, and I had a clematis vine that was hanging here waiting from the time the last trellis fell apart, and it was ready to go. And as soon as the trellis was up, it was like, poof! So this is super dense. Only gave me a couple of flowers, but it's love and life. I did plant another one over here, but it's got a ways to keep up. So here she is. We have another tree that it needs to be staked, but you heard the boys' philosophy on that. This is a wild plum, and it's never done this before, but it just has such a big yield this year that it's laying into the path. So perhaps it should not have been planted there. We've got beets, lettuce, peas, dill, asparagus going to seed, hollyhocks. And my plan of attack this year has just been berry with the hay. So we have a bunch of hay bales that were old moldy hay that I've been unrolling, and the grass or weeds gets chopped or weed whacked and then just buried with hay. And also some leaves I had gotten in spring, just picking up the curbside bags of leaves. But it's the no-till, no-dig method, kind of combined with a green manure idea with letting the weeds exist where they think they need to be, but knocking them down and putting hay on top of them so that you still have something of paths to walk on, some accessibility. It's a bit tough when you have a crop that's close planted together, like the beets and the peas. You do get quite a bit of weeds in there, but just kind of snap the heads of them off. And there's carrots here, so quite a bit of weeds in the carrots. Tomatoes. I've just been unrolling the hay bales recently, so we kind of do the hay and the newspaper and cardboard method in spring, and then again, I like to do it again in end of July like this, when the weeds are really mature and they're going to seed, but they haven't dropped their seed yet, so you can knock them down without feeling like you're spreading seed everywhere. And I left this mustard, wild mustard, because the bees love it so much, and I was seeing a bunch of Teresa's bees on it, so I was like, oh, you can stay for a while. It's pretty. On this mound here on the side, I have dahlias. I have them all the way down. I think I have 5 or 6, and I'm super excited about that because I saved those last year from one plant. I originally had bought a pack from a family farm on Etsy, and I saved a ton of tubers, and then they all rotted in the root cellar. So I was distraught, but managed to save one little tiny sprout. Last year I got one dahlia from it, and so that tuber I very carefully packed away in the cold room in the house instead of the root cellar, which apparently is too damp. And so it survived, and I was able to make 6 plants off of it, and they're doing really well. So fingers crossed I can keep this root going. They were super cool colors. I had one that was split, the flower itself was split down the middle, half white, half red, yellow. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. Super cool. And then the marigolds and a couple zinnias, I have moved all over the place. So started way too many marigolds and decided to do that thing that I've always wanted to do, where you plant them with the cabbage. And it's so pretty. I wish I had done this every year. Definitely going to keep doing this if Mom lets me. But deer don't like the smell of the marigolds, and they do like to get back here because we're far enough from the house now that's their territory, and we don't have a garden fence. So I do like to try to discourage them however I can. And in this case, this year, we're trying the marigolds. So back there with the purple cabbage and the marigolds all throughout. And then Donna's got onions going to seed, just starting to fall over. The raspberries are just coming to the end of their year. We got cucumbers, and then the bean poles back there. They have been getting a little bit more shade every year with the raspberry patch encroaching. We do our best to tame the raspberries in spring, but then by this time of year they're kind of ridiculous, and especially towards the end of the row they're not getting a lot of sun, so either the bean poles have to move or the raspberries have to move. I think next year that's enough is enough. And then yeah, I bucketed my petunias just in random buckets from leftover from the nursery, and I put them everywhere, and these are all just one plant. And it's so much fun to have that much color, and these last all summer. They're super hardy, super long lasting, and they are really eye-catching with their color. So we got some white lilies here, more bee balm. Once again, I'm filming, there's a turtle. You see the turtle? I'm filming towards the end of the day, so the pond lilies are already starting to close, but I do have quite a bit of different color with these. There's some peach, some yellow, some white, there's frogs, pink, there's 2 different colors, pink, lighter pink, darker pink, and white and salmon colored. We got more bee balm, more trumpet lilies, and back here, one sunflower, more of the marigolds, some volunteer cosmos, yeah, I brought all my extra flowers out to the long rows, which motivated me to get them in shape, get them weeded and mulched with hay. And I told Mom that this is really in your favor that I'm putting flowers out here. You shouldn't fight me on this, like for space, because it's in your best interest to have me put flowers everywhere, because then I come out to check on them and weed things, and yeah, somebody's got to. And it adds so much color. And she does have one watermelon vine here, so it's got a slow start with the cool spring. We'll see. We'll see if she gets off the ground. Yeah. So concludes the 2024 Lund garden tour. See ya.